Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hope you're good. You're staying safe and looking after yourselves, your families, etc. Today's lesson we are applying what we did yesterday with angles. And we were doing missing angles with parallel lines. We're sort of going to take that and extend it a little bit further to triangles. So we're going to do using the information we know about triangles to solve for missing angles. As you know, I like to try and start things off with a warm up with some questions from across the curriculum to see if you can figure it out. So pause the video, give yourself 4 minutes, and see if you can answer these questions. Off you go. Okay. I assume that you've done it. Some of you will have, some of you won't have. There's no way of me knowing. So, all right, let's jump into this. So we have 8 plus negative 9 is the same as 8 minus 9, because a plus and a negative together make a negative, which gives you negative 1. We have the value of 2a cubed minus a when the value of a is equal to 3. Well, 3 cubed is 27. 2 times 27 is 54. Minus 3 gives you 51. What is 450 rounded to the nearest hundred? It's technically 500. If it's a 5, you round up. If it's a 4 or lower, you round down. A rectangle has a length that is twice of its width. If the length is 8 meters, what is the perimeter? So it has length that's twice its width, meaning that if the length is 8, the width has to be 4. Find the perimeter. It's 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8, which is 24. Okay, A equals 2b. Or not 2b? That's the question. You're being told that the value of b is 4. What is the value of a? Well, if a is 2 times whatever b is and b is 4, a has to be 8. And then what's the formula for circumference of a circle? It is 2 pi r, or it is pi times diameter. Cool. Now, this is a throwback to the last class. This is accessing previous knowledge. So hopefully you can pause the video and tell me what each of these numbers are in terms of their angle value. Give it a shot. Okay. So if 60 is one of those angles, the number 1 is the remaining side of the angle that makes up 180. So 180 minus 60 is 120. Then the 2 is an opposite angle of 60, meaning that that also has to be 60. 3 is opposite to 1, which means that it has to be 120, right? We go further down if with number 4. So 4, I think they're called co-interior angles, where they're both on the inside together, but essentially 4 and 2 together will make 180. So if 2 is 60, that means 4 is 120, which means 5 is 60, because that line has to make 180. The opposite angle 7 is 120, and 5 and 6 are opposite angles, which means 6 is also 60. Cool. That was a bit of a mouthful. So, what's this got to do with triangles? Well, 180 degrees makes up a straight line. Some of you know that. Some of you might know as well that the 3 angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees, right? Which is interesting. So each interior angle will add up to make 180 degrees. So let's test out this theory, okay? You know what? Pause the video, give it a shot on your own, see how you go, and then I'll go through these. Okay? Assuming that you did that, let's go through the answers. So the first one, the first one, we have angles of 85 and 37. So I plus those 2 angles together. 85 plus 37 is 122. And then to figure out what A is, I know it's 122 plus whatever A is will equal 180, which is the same as saying 180 minus 122 will give me the value of A. So 180 minus 122 is 58. Say that with a question mark. I'm pretty sure it's 58. Right? Cool. Next one. C and D. Well, if one angle's 80 and one's 40, that's 120. 180 minus 120 gives me 60. So I know that interior angle C has to be 60. Which means also, since that's a straight line, that the other angle on the outside, D, well, that has to be 120 because a straight line is 180 degrees also. Now, this last one's a tricky one. It's interesting that, and it's important that this one's in here because this is an isosceles triangle where it has two angles that are exactly the same and one different one at the top, right? So both of those angles are the same thing. So we're essentially saying that 180 is equal to 52 plus B, right? So it's sort of like, well, how do we figure out what B is? Well, let's do 180 take away 52, which gives us what, 128? Cool. So on 128, I want you to think about now if you can pause the video and figure it out from there. Give it a shot. Well, I know that those two angles together will equal 180 minus 52. So what did I say it was? 128. So two angles exactly the same equal 128. I can just divide 128 by 2, and that will give me my two angles. They're both 64. And you can check that if you're not too sure. If you were to replace B with 64, see if it adds up to 180. 64 and 64 is 128 plus 52 is 180. So we know we did it right. That's sort of where we're at. I'm going to leave it there because I want you to have as much time as possible to do the worksheets. If you're feeling confident and you think that you've got this, have a shot at the extension task as well. I know it can be hard to motivate yourself at the moment, but I think it's important that you try your best to see if you can do it. Okay. All right. That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day.